So yeah, I mean, if you can get to the review today, that would be great. But if not, you can watch this again. Okay, like I'm going to put her on all the 7th grade classes. Okay, so I've already done it. So we'll just go through what I now. Again, the questions might be different, right? But it's probably the same questions, just in a different order. Okay. Okay. So I think, yeah, no, I did go over this with you guys. Here. If did I show you the black and white flower thing? Does black and white flower sound familiar? No. Okay. I'm going to show you how this works. I'm going to try in the limited amount of space that I have. So if you have, we're going to do our Punnett square, okay, and we have a flower. Let's say it's a black flower. I don't know, it's black because it's easy to draw. Okay, so black flower, and I'm going to draw this a little bit differently than you usually would see. This is a codominance Punnett square. So I'm going to put an F with a B next to it, okay? And an F with a B next to it. Those are the alleles for the black flower. Okay, I'm also going to do a white one. I need a 6th one. Oh, that's a white flower. So these are the alleles for white. Okay, when I combine them together, I'm going to draw it outside. Well, yeah. What you're going to get is a flower where half of the petals are black and half of the petals are white. You're going to get this. Let me erase that. Yeah, it'd be FW, FB. Okay, you get, now this is codominance, where you have black, it's definitely black and definitely white. If it's incomplete dominance, can anybody tell me what the incomplete dominance color would be? What's black and white like mixed together? Gray. Okay. Codominance means each trait, black and white, show up. Incomplete dominance is like a blending, right? It's blending together. Like you have a red rose and a white rose. Okay. In codominance, you would have red petals and white petals. In incomplete dominance, you would have a pink rose. Okay, so that's the incomplete dominance and codominance difference, which it's complicated to like determine which one is which. So which statements describe incomplete dominance? Pick 3. The traits are neither dominant or recessive. They both show up. How they show up is, incomplete or codominance, right? But neither one is dominant. They both show up. Offspring exhibit an intermediate. So you've got black, and you've got white, and right in the middle of that you have gray. That's what intermittent means, like in the middle, right? Like you have you're on what is it? Some sort of like Adobe Photoshop or something, and you have like a gray, it's like grayscale, and you have a bar down at the bottom, and there's a black and a white, and you can slide that bar back and forth between black and white, and you can get different shades of gray. That's intermediate. Okay, it's like in the middle. So that one for sure. And then incomplete dominance involves the interaction of 2 alleles. Yeah, it would be, oops. Everything's an interaction between 2 alleles. Wait, yeah. Okay, everything is. Even tall and short pea plants. There's an interaction between them, but one is just covers the other one up. Codominance, black and white. Or incomplete dominance, gray. Okay, so that's that one. And then number two. Okay, this one. Okay. Junior high students are inherently lazy. I mean, there's no other way to say it. Okay, for the most, not for the most part, but there's this underlying like sense of, I don't know, laziness. Now when I read this, I did a Punnett square, like personally. Before I answered the question, I did a Punnett square. Okay, make a Punnett square and figure it out. So having freckles is dominant. I mean, I actually on the board over there behind my workstation drew a Punnett square and did this. There's like no other way to do it. Okay, so having freckles is dominant over not having freckles. So I'll put an F. So first I set it up. This is freckles. And this is no freckles. Okay, so that's dominant freckles, recessive, no freckles. Curly hair is dominant over straight. So I'm going to use a different letter. It doesn't matter what letter, but curly hair is dominant. So this is curly, and this is straight. Okay, so I actually like write that down. Okay, trying to go right off of this, it's too much information. You have to break it down into pieces. Okay, one parent is homozygous for freckles. So now it's starting to like, now we're going to set up our Punnett square. And this one's going to look a little funky. Okay, but you can draw 2 Punnett squares if you want. Maybe I should do that. No, I'll show you how to do this other type. Okay, one parent is homozygous for freckles. Okay, homozygous, 2 of the same, for freckles. So one parent is capital F, capital F. Okay, and has straight hair. So straight hair is the recessive. So I'm going to put, wait for it. Homozygous for freckles, has straight hair. Since straight hair is recessive, it has to be 2 lowercase letters. Okay. The other parent does not have freckles. So it's recessive, right? It's the only way you can have straight hair or not have freckles is to be 2 recessive and has straight hair. Okay, now you have to in the Punnett square put it all together. So I've got F. Let's see here, FF. There's 2 F's, HH, like that. Okay, and then F, right? These 2, and then HH. Okay, so this would be freckles, straight hair. Freckles, straight hair. Okay, this is freckles, again, straight hair. All right, capital lowercase, lowercase, lowercase. And then F, same thing, HH. Okay, now that the Punnett square is done, now you can answer the question. What are the possible phenotypes of the offspring? Phenotypes being physical trait. Freckles, straight hair. Freckles, straight hair. Freckles, straight hair. Freckles, straight hair. Freckles with straight hair. Okay, you have to set it. Just reading this and trying to answer the question is practically impossible. Even for me, I mean, I've been teaching this stuff for like 20 years. I still write a Punnett square. Okay, why do I like do a Punnett square? Anybody tell me why I do a Punnett square? Because I want to get the answer right. You have to work for it. Okay, so that's that one. Okay, next one. Okay, cleft chin is dominant. Cleft chin dominant. One parent is heterozygous for cleft chin. So oh yeah, it already has it. Heterozygous for cleft chin. That's that one. And the other parent does not have a cleft chin. That's 2 lowercase letters. Okay. What is the probability that the offspring will have a cleft chin? The best thing to do is to draw the Punnett square. Oops. and fill it in. I mean, you know, don't be lazy about it. It doesn't take that long, and you get the right answer. Okay, so what is the probability of having a cleft chin? 50%, or 2 out of 4. Okay, it's that one. Okay, again, don't be lazy with it. Again, it doesn't take that long. Okay, number 4. Oh, this is just straight out of the notes. There's 3 alleles for blood type. Actually, this is straight out of the notes. I don't know how much time I want to spend on this. There's, oh, come on. This is A. This is B. This is O. And the fact that the alleles are written like this means that this is codominant, right? So it says which allele for human blood type is recessive. All you really have to look for is the lowercase letter. Once you find the lowercase letter, that's it. But that's pretty much straight off of the notes, the guided notes. Number 5. Scientist has a tomato plant with red skin. Oh, they try to give you too much information. They give you too much information, which can be confusing. A scientist has a tomato plant with red skin. It has 1 allele for red skin and one for yellow skin, which describes the phenotype of the tomato plant. Well, it has it's heterozygous, but that doesn't matter. It's just asking for the phenotype, red skin, the physical trait of the tomato. It's just red skin. Being able to roll tongue is dominant. Like, oh, I can't show you because the mask's on. You know, like roll your tongue. It's dominant over not being able to roll the tongue. What's the probability the offspring will be unable to roll the tongue? Again, oh, they already did it for you. Okay, done over. Oh yeah, what is the probability the offspring will be unable? Able. 0. There's no chance. Okay, because they're all heterozygous. I think did I change it? 7. Which trait is controlled by 3 or more genes? This is out of the notes. It's hair color. You had to watch the presentations, and they go over some multi-gene traits, right? And hair color is polygenic, or uses more than 3 or more genes. Danielle has blonde hair, her mother has blonde hair, and her father has brown hair, which explains how Danielle inherited her hair color. She inherited a chromosome that carries an allele for hair color from each parent. It's tricky. Like they're trying to be tricky. Okay, if you're talking about hair color, blonde is dominant, or wait, mother's blonde hair. Yeah, they didn't even tell you what's dominant or recessive. Let's say this is brown. I don't know. And this is blonde. Oh, this goes back to what I said before. Yeah, this goes back to what I said before. The alleles are interacting with each other. This one just covers that one up, but they're still interacting with each other. Okay, so she inherited a chromosome that carries allele for hair color from each parent. You get one from your mother, one from your father, and that's how you get the trait. Okay, so that's that one. I like my old program better. It's kind of funky. Whoops, I don't want that one. I want this. Punnett Sqare shows the results when 2 parent dogs are crossed. The L represents the allele for a long tail. Oh, here we go. I remember this one. L represents the allele for a long tail, and L, lowercase, represents the allele for a short tail. Which best describes this inheritance pattern? Okay, incomplete dominance, because it's like a medium tail. Okay, medium tail. It's the fact that it says medium means you have a long tail and a short tail, and it's like in between the two. It's like the flower, right? You can't have a long tail and a short tail at the same time, right? So it's not codominance. It's incomplete because it's in the middle. Long, short, medium. Okay, so it's incomplete. Number 10. Brown eye color is dominant over blue eye color. And blue eye color is recessive trait. What typically happens when someone inherits one allele for brown eyes and one for blue eyes? The person has brown eyes. And brown eye remains dominant. These are really funky, like, answers they give. Dominant is dominant. Doesn't matter like if it's been passed on or not. The person has brown eyes, but blue eye color becomes a dominant trait. I don't even know what they're talking about. The person has brown eyes, and it remains dominant. That's that one. Which best summarizes the results of Mendel's pea plant experiments? Parents both pass traits on to offspring in a predictable pattern, right? Which is Mendel's pea thing, which is this thing. Predictable pattern, right? Which is what this assignment is. It's a predictable pattern, okay? And then, which is based on probability. All right, this one's easy. Which fraction represents 25%? 1/4. That one you should get from your math class. But that's it. It should be the same questions, just in a different order, I think. Anyway, so that's that. Any questions about that? Okay, you can go ahead and take out your Chromebooks and work on the what is it? The summary, the lab summary, right? Or the lab review. Okay, and that's it. If you have extra time today, you can work on the assignments I've given you the past couple days. Okay?